Emma Harper stood on the threshold of her new office building, heart pounding with excitement and nerves. The glass skyscraper gleamed under the bright morning sun, reflecting the bustling city of New York below. For years, Emma had dreamed of this moment, landing a job at the prestigious law firm of Mitchell, Grant and Associates. But what she didn't know was that this new beginning would force her to face the darkest chapter of her past. Would she have the strength to confront the man who destroyed her family, or would the pain break her all over again? If you're ready to dive into Emma's powerful story, don't forget to like this story and subscribe to the Soul Script for more gripping, heartfelt tales. Her journey had not been easy. Growing up in a quiet suburban neighborhood in Westchester County, Emma was raised by her mother and father who worked tirelessly to support their family. But a tragedy 2 years ago shattered their lives when a reckless corporate mogul named Richard Carlisle ruined everything they had built. Now, Emma was about to start fresh. With her freshly printed business cards in hand and her sharp-tailored suit, she took a deep breath and pushed through the revolving doors. Inside the law firm's marble lobby, the hum of busy professionals filled the air. Emma was greeted by a friendly receptionist who handed her a welcome packet and pointed her towards the elevators. Her office was on the 20th floor, a sleek, modern space with panoramic views of the city's skyline. As Emma settled in, she felt a surge of pride mixed with a twinge of anxiety. This was everything she had worked for. Soon, she met her new boss, Jonathan Mitchell, a seasoned lawyer with a reputation for winning tough cases. Jonathan was charismatic and approachable, making Emma feel welcomed, but also aware of the high expectations. Colleagues trickled in, exchanging greetings and coffee orders. Emma noticed a few whispered conversations when she passed by, but she reminded herself to focus on the future, not the office politics. During lunch, Emma joined a group of junior associates in the firm's stylish cafeteria. They chatted about recent cases, favorite restaurants, and weekend plans. Emma was eager to fit in, but also kept her guard up. Later in the afternoon, Jonathan called her into his office. "Emma, I've got your first assignment," he said, sliding a file across the desk. She opened it cautiously and stopped cold. The client's name was printed boldly on the front, Richard Carlisle. Emma's fingers trembled as she stared at the folder. Richard Carlisle, the man who had destroyed her family's livelihood, who had caused her father to lose his job and her mother to fall into despair. The firm had taken on Carlisle's case, and Emma was tasked with assisting in his defense. Conflicted, Emma excused herself and stepped out into the hallway. The city buzzed around her, oblivious to the storm inside. Could she do this? Could she represent the man who had ruined her family's life? Emma sat alone in her small apartment that evening, the city lights outside casting faint shadows on the walls. The file with Richard Carlisle's name lay unopened on her coffee table. Her mind drifted back to that painful time 2 years ago. She remembered the afternoon when everything changed. Her father, Mark Harper, had been a dedicated engineer at a manufacturing company in Yonkers. One late evening, the company collapsed after Richard Carlisle's corporation bought out the business, only to dismantle it ruthlessly. Jobs vanished overnight. Emma's mother, Helen Harper, cried endlessly for months. bills piled up. The family that once laughed around the dinner table had become fractured. Emma clenched her fists, feeling the old ache stir anew. Could she really defend the man who had shattered her family's world? The next morning at the firm, Emma wrestled with her conscience. She confided in a colleague, Sarah Mitchell, who had become a friend. "I don't know if I can do this," Emma admitted quietly. "This client, he's the reason my family lost everything." Sarah put a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Emma, I get it. But you're a lawyer now. Your job is to seek the truth and justice. Maybe this case will reveal something you don't expect." Emma nodded, but the doubt lingered. Could she separate the past from the present? Determined to find clarity, Emma requested a private meeting with Jonathan Mitchell. In his spacious office, she poured out her fears. "Jonathan, I'm struggling. I don't want to betray my family's memory, but I also want to do right by this firm and my career." Jonathan regarded her thoughtfully. "Emma, life doesn't always give us easy choices. Sometimes the hardest battles are the ones we have to fight with ourselves. Use this case to prove your strength, not just as a lawyer, but as a person." His words struck a chord. Emma realized this was more than a case. It was her chance to reclaim her story. Emma's days blurred into nights as she pored over mountains of documents, witness statements, and legal precedents. The law firm's conference room became her second home, the sterile walls a constant reminder of the battle ahead. She discovered details about Richard Carlisle's business dealings, some shady, some legal, but morally ambiguous. But what shocked her most was an anonymous letter slipped under her apartment door, hinting at a hidden truth. Carlisle's empire was built on lies and cover-ups that even the firm's partners didn't know about. Emma's resolve hardened. This case was no longer about defending a client. It was about unveiling the truth. The courtroom was packed. Reporters lined the back, cameras flashing as the trial began. Emma stood at the defense table, her heart pounding. Across the room, Richard Carlisle sat with an arrogant smile, unaware of the storm about to break. Throughout the trial, Emma skillfully dismantled Carlisle's carefully crafted narrative. She presented evidence that revealed his greed, manipulations, and the devastating ripple effects on families like hers. At one point, Carlisle's confident facade cracked, and he glared directly at Emma. Their eyes locked, a silent battle of wills. The jury deliberated for hours before returning with a verdict. Emma's palms sweated as the judge read the decision. Carlisle was found guilty on several counts, his empire forced to pay restitution to victims. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed Emma, praising her courage and dedication. But amidst the applause, Emma felt a quiet peace. She hadn't sought revenge. Instead, she had fought for justice, for her family, and for others who suffered in silence. As she stepped into the sunlight, Emma Harper knew this was only the beginning of her journey. The woman who once stood broken was now a beacon of strength.